Alright, budget magic time. Playing some Turbofog in standard. And, alright, we'll give this a shot. Seems somewhat reasonable. None of our card draw artifact or enchantments, but we do have, some stuff. Lots of Valving Wilds. Pass the turn. Not sure what we're getting with a Valving Wild. See what our opponent's up to. Plays the Plains. Well, crack a Valving Wilds. We will grab a... I think we just take Forest. Well, play Ether Hub. Pass the turn. Maybe we should have taken something different. A Plains, perhaps. Opponent looks like they're on mono white. Gustwalker. Okay. Well, play an island. Pass the turn. Probably going to have to cycle this cast out, unfortunately. Opponent plays the Plains. And always watching. Well, I feel like this is a deck that should not be able to beat our deck, but we'll see. This draw's a bit sketchy. Cycle our cast out. Well, there's a land at least. That's good. Take our beats. Let's play the mountain. Pass the turn. Leave up our commit to memory. And now I'm feeling pretty good about where we're at. The tide has turned. Opponent has Glory Bound Initiate. Okay. And Thalia's Lieutenant. Also okay. Now we'll take our beats this turn. Yep. Here comes Gustwalker. So we're dropping to 11. That is a lot of power. I think we're going to commit the Always Watching. Haze Pollen. Well, attune with Ether. Get some energy. Get a Plains. Play the Plains. And pass the turn. So now we can Haze of Pollen and then Wrath next turn. Another Always Watching. Yeah, whatever. Opponent goes to combat. Swings, swings, swings. So yeah, let's just Haze of Pollen. Fog our opponent. And yeah, this Fumigate's going to be pretty good. And another Fog. We really do want card draw though. But let's Fumigate. Go up to 14. Clear the board. So we have plenty of Fogs. We need a way to keep drawing some cards. And we're Militia Captain for our opponent. And a Thalia's Lieutenant. So they're rebuilding pretty quickly. Oh, Descend. I think we have to cycle a Haze of Pollen. Alright, there's a land. Play Irrigated Farmland. Pass the turn. This works out too. So we can Fog this turn. Or maybe we don't even Fog. Another Always Watching. I think we take 8. I think that's fine. So we take 8. Drop to 6. Then we get to untap and fully powered Descend Upon the Sinful. So we get the 4/4, play the Sanctum. Pass the turn. Our opponent's stuff is all going to be huge thanks to Always Watching, but we have 2 Fogs in hand. We got a Gideon's Intervention. Ooh, and a Kefnet. Well, let's play Kefnet. And we'll just pass the turn here. Hopefully we can just block with our Angel. Opponent has Stasis Snare. Gonna hit our Angel. Okay. Interesting choice. I guess our opponent's just hoping to close out the game. Well, we'll take 4. Drop to 2. We haven't seen any signs of our opponent being able to kill us with burn or anything, so I think that's fine. Draw a card. No. We're not going to pick up land. Cinderglade. So, play... Actually, I don't even know if we do play Fevered Visions. Let's play Cinderglade. And I think we just pass. Actually, 1, 2... Let's do it this way. 3, 4. Gideon's Intervention on Hanweir Militia Captain. And pass the turn. So we can keep drawing with Kefnet. Gustwalker. Okay. Opponent attacks. We take it. Nothing happens thanks to our Gideon's Intervention. Draw with Kefnet. Still not going to pick up a land. Cast out. Well, let's pass the turn. Glory Bound Initiate for our opponent. No attacks. So now we get to double draw with Kefnet. No, not going to pick up a land. We have not drawn any lands in a while, but that's fine. Drawing lots of Fogs. Kefnet, no, not going to pick up a land. Kefnet's so good. Now we get to start attacking with Kefnet. So get in with Kefnet. Hit our opponent down to 15. I don't even think we play Fevered Visions. It's just got to be wrong. Play Cinderglade, pass the turn. I think we just keep fogging and win with Kefnet. Opponent plays a land. Goes to combat. So let's Encircling Fissure. Prevent the damage. And then draw with Kefnet. Not picking up a land. More fogs, which is good. Get in with Kefnet. I think we just do this until we win. It's seeming like this is going to work. I guess we just start discarding to hand size. Discard Fevered Visions. I don't think we need Fevered Visions. All we need is Kefnet. Kefnet the unbeatable. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks. We fog. Beat down with Kefnet. So, commencement of festivities. Kefnet fog. Yep. Staying at 2. And I think we'll draw with Kefnet. And we'll cycle a cast out. There's a land. Get in with Kefnet. Hit our opponent to 5. 1 turn clock. Or our opponent has to deal with Kefnet somehow. Play the plains. Pass the turn. Now let's just do it right now. Haze of Pollen. Can you deal with Kefnet? And our opponent scoops it up. Can't beat the Kefnet. Fognet. All we did is play Kefnet and Fog, and we just won easily. So let's bring in the Raz. Bring in Descend Upon the Sinful. Go down Gideon's Intervention. Negate an Essence Scatter. And I think Nissa's Renewal. Our opponent doesn't have any reach. We can go down. Oh, wait. Maybe we need that. Alright, we'll leave. We'll leave it. Apparently that's one too many cards. Well, this feels like a good matchup for us. Alright, we'll try this. There's the Plains for our opponent, and the Gossip Monger. Well, play Cinderglade, pass the turn. We don't have a Wrath in hand. Opponent has Expedition Envoy. Opponent's draw is really aggressive. Flips around the Gossip Monger. Well, let's play Sanctum, pass the turn. I think we're going to cycle Irrigated Farmland here. Opponent hits us for a bunch. We take it. Oh, they're just going to pump? Alright, so we take 5. Down to 15. Cycle the farmland. More ether hubs. And more. Oh my goodness, so many lands. We'll play Sanctum. Pass the turn. Well, it is possible we just fizzle and die. More lands for our opponent. Goes to combat. Gets in with both. Pumps. Alright, let's fog. Prevent the damage. Another Gossip Monger. Opponent passes. There's a bounty. Play Ether Hub. Get an energy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, I think we bounty. Play bounty. Pass the turn. So we're hoping for Wrath or Fog, but we get 2 draws at it. Wrath is a long-term solution. Fog is a fine short-term solution. Cracks the clue. If we don't draw Wrath or Fog, we're going to be in trouble. We might be able to sort of stay alive thanks to cast out for a turn, but not a great situation if we don't draw it. No pumping. Down to 11. Oh boy. And Glory Bound Initiate. Well, come on deck. Be good to us. Bounty and Plains. That wasn't good. That wasn't good at all. Well, play the Plains. Pass the turn. I think we still have a shot. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. If our opponent has Thalia's Lieutenant, we're dead, I think. Otherwise, I think we get one more turn. We get to commit to memory, cycle cast out. We can also just use the mana from Bounty next turn to memory and hopefully draw into Fogs. We're also going to refill our opponent's hand, but I think that it'll be worth it. Opponent plays land. So I think we're dropping to 1, but I don't think we're dead. Opponent attacks with everything. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Opponent pumps. So commit 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I guess we just commit Incited Rabble. Yeah, opponent full out pumps. We drop to 1. Cycle cast out. Nissa's renewal. Attune with Ether. We get some free mana. Good lord, what do we do? So Nissa's renewal doesn't do it. So I guess our only real play is play an island. Use our mana to memory. Whew. Alright, we hit a fog. Which means we're not dead. I guess we also get to attune with Ether. Get a land out of our deck. Pass the turn. Staying alive. Did not find a Wrath, but that's okay. We're not dead, which is the main thing. Opponent's got a handful of action. But I don't think any of that action interacts with what we're doing. So we will just cast our Haze of Pollen. Opponent passes. We get an extra draw. Oh, it's Descend! It's Descend upon the Sinful. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Descend upon the Sinful. Sweep the board. Play an Ether Hub. Pass the turn. Staying alive! We're staying alive! Glory Bound. I mean, our opponent has lethal from now until Affinity. Basically. Cycle cast out. Approach. Ooh. Oh, another commit. Okay. We get mana. Can we do everything? 3. Play this. 4, 5, 6, 7. Approach of the Second Sons. Back up to 8. Pass the turn. Opponent goes to combat. So we commit the Glory Bound Initiate. Opponent hits us down to 5. Yup. I mean, we could still fizzle. It's not a guaranteed win here. If we get to approach, we win for sure. There's a Gustwalker. And we're getting to the point where if we draw a Fog, we win. And we're Militia Captain. Draw 1, Evolving Wilds. Draw 2, Scattered Groves. Uh-oh. Well, we got to see the maximum number of cards. So, cycle Scattered Groves into a land. Oh dear. Play Fevered Visions. Play Sanitarium. Pass the turn. Come on, Fevered Visions. Another Fevered Visions, and that's game. We fizzled! We fizzled! We fizzled. Oh no. Did I mess that up there? Could we have just commit to memory? We might have been able to. That might have been a punt. I don't remember how many lands we had. It's very possible that that was a mistake. Still feel like this should be a very hard matchup for us to lose. Our opponent can put on a lot of pressure, but we have so many cards that are just so great in this matchup. Like, our entire deck is so good in this matchup. And being a mono white deck, there's just not much our opponent can do to interact with it. Alright, we're on the play. Alright, I mean, we'll try this. Little slow. We got 1 Fog. I guess the good news is we do have Gaia Reach Sanitarium, and we do have Bounty. And we're playing towards a Descend Upon the Sinful, which is so insanely good. There's an Expedition Envoy. Well, another Fog is fine. Play a Forest, pass the turn. Another Fog increases our chances of making it to Descend Upon the Sinful. Opponent gets in with Envoy. 4-2, down to 18. Yup. And a Gustwalker. Well, let's play Cinderglade, pass the turn. We'll have to see. There's a chance that we Fog here. Always watching. Yeah, so I think we Fog. Because we can Fog into Bounty. So let's cast Commencement, stay at 18. Untap. Play Ether Hub. Get an energy. Play Bounty to start drawing some cards, pass the turn. Then we can Fog next turn into Descend Upon the Sinful the following turn. Something along those lines. Depending on our draws. Opponent gets in. Yep. Down to 11. We draw a Fog and an Ether Hub. Well, let's play Sanitarium. Pass the turn. I do think we have to Fog here. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks. So let's just Encircling Fissure. Opponent passes. We draw Evolving Wilds. Get some extra mana. Well, let's loot from our free mana. Discard Evolving Wilds. Play Sanctum. Pass the turn. I think we can just Fog again here. Our opponent's making it pretty clear that they're not going to overextend into our Wrath, but I think this is fine. We start getting double draws again next turn. And sooner or later, we're going to be even drawing more cards each turn. So let's Encircling Fissure. Prevent the damage. Opponent passes. There's Commit to Memory. That's a card we were looking for. And a Haze of Pollen. We'll play Ether Hub. Get some energy. Pass the turn. So I think we just keep waiting now. Because we can Commit to Memory, and then if we want to, we can use our extra mana to flash it back. So I think we actually just commit the Gustwalker. Take 3 down to 8. Another Expedition Envoy. Another Commit to Memory. We get some mana. Instant Sorcery Land. Descend upon the Sinful would be so much nicer if we were actually doing something like getting a 4/4 flyer. I think we're going to do it though. 1, 2, 3, 4. Descend upon the Sinful. Sweep the board. Opponent tries to Eerie Interlude, so I think we just... That's a spicy sideboard option, but let's commit it. Sweep the board. Board is clear. That is a pretty good way to avoid a Wrath. Pass the turn. I feel like we're like one card draw spell away from really just locking this one up. Gustwalker, Thalia's Lieutenant. Extra draw, Canopy Vista, and Plains. We'll play Canopy Vista. I think we can keep waiting for now. Pass the turn. Next turn we can definitely Commit to Memory if we want to, because we have a bunch of free bonus mana. Opponent's going to go attacking. We are going to Haze of Pollen. Prevent the damage. Town Gossipmonger. Alright, we might as well loot. There's Fevered Visions. We'll play the Plains, or discard the Plains. Oh, and a Fumigate. How do we do this? Alright, Fumigate. Opponent uses the Eerie Interlude. So we play Fevered Visions. Pass the turn. Draw. Opponent gets their creatures back. Yeah, Eerie Interlude. Pretty good tech. Draw a Forest. Opponent goes to combat. We Fog. I mean, the longer we wait, the better this is for us. Prevent the damage. Opponent flips. Sure. Still damage prevented. Opponent draws, drops to 18. Alright, we draw a Fog, and we get a Forest. So play the Forest, pass the turn. We're going to keep waiting. No reason. The more mana we have when we fire off our memory, the better. Wouldn't mind drawing a way to make sure this Fumigate resolves, though. Opponent plays a Forest. Another Thalia's Lieutenant. Pumps up the Dorks. Well, let's Fog. Opponent, gonna go attacking anyway. Sure. Let's loot with Sanitarium. Discard the Forest. Cycle the Sheltered Thicket. There's a Fog. And a Fog. Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fumigate again. Oh, we have so much free mana. Alright, so Fumigate. Jeez, opponent has so many Eerie Interludes. Okay, well, I guess that's good. Pass the turn. I mean, we still got Fog, so it's fine. Opponent gets back their stuff. Gets a bunch of counters. We draw a card. Lumbering Falls. Commencement of Festivities. Fog our opponent. We could just use a finisher. Opponent, they love attacking. I guess they're hoping for like the Moto bug. That the fog just doesn't work for some reason. Let's loot with Gaia Reach. Discard Lumbering Falls. We do keep drawing fogs. There's a Cast Out. And Canopy Vista. Well, cycle Cast Out. Play Canopy Vista. Pass the turn. What we really want is just to find our approach. I mean, at some point we can commit to memory from the graveyard, but that's all we really want, is to find our approach and win. Commencement of Festivities. I keep doing it pre-attack so our opponent doesn't feel like they have to attack every time, but they keep attacking every time. I'm not really sure why. Let's loot. I don't feel like there's anything super relevant we can loot our opponent into. Discard an Ether Hub. Draw an island. Well, let's loot with our free mana. Discard a Plains. Play an island. Pass the turn. Still not finding any finishers. Down to 23 cards in our deck. More fogs. It would be nice to find them soon-ish. I think it would let us just win if we did. Our opponent's also down to 12. Opponent goes attacking. We cast a Haze. Our poor opponent. They are giving it their best shot, I guess. Yep. Thraben Inspector gets a clue. Pumps the Dorks. The Dorks are lethal if our opponent ever hits us with them. We just got to try to keep that from happening. And sooner or later, we'll draw into Approach. Or our opponent will just die to Fevered Visions. Even just another Fevered Visions would be pretty good. And we have many of them left. All of our good stuff's on the bottom of our deck somehow. There's a Fevered Visions. And a Commencement. Well, play another Fevered Visions. Play a Mountain. Pass the turn. This picks up the clock even more on our opponent, because they have 7 cards in hand. So they're going to have to start casting stuff, or else they're just going to die to Fevered Visions. Sacks the clue. Attune and Cast Out. Yeah, this feels like such a difficult matchup for our opponent. Cast Commencement. No attacks. Okay. Glory Bound Initiate for our opponent. Glory Bound Initiate for our opponent. Down to 6. Well, let's keep looting. Loot. There's Kefnet. Discard a tune with Ether. Opponent has to discard a hand size. We get mana. Well, let's play Kefnet. Play Ether Hub. Pass the turn. Bounty. Fevered Visions. Well, cast Haze. And this might do it. They have to be able to deal with Kefnet, and we have a Commit to Memory in hand, which can stop it. Yeah, his opponent's going to give it one more shot with the big attack. Yep, bring it. Sure. Swing with them all. I do appreciate our opponent's effort. I would have scooped probably 15 minutes ago if I was across the table. Thankfully, I'm not. But I think our opponent, I mean, they're pretty close to just dead. Gideon's Intervention. Yeah, well, I think that's the time. Commit Gideon's Intervention. And Stasis Snare. Well, draw with Kefnet. I mean, I guess there's some very weird slight chance that we could lose still. And that's if we don't draw a fog and we have to memory, if we just straight up whiff on all of our million fogs. I don't think we have many fogs left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We may have 2 left in our deck. I think we have another Wrath, though. And our opponent's actually tapped out this time, so Wrath is very good as well. Opponent's in the tank for some reason. Oh no! No! Moto! Oh, we might time out. Oh no, not like this. Connection failed. Moto! This isn't good. We didn't have that much time on our clock, and we were just sitting there because our opponent's clock was running down. Oh no! Come on, Moto. Get in there before we're out of time. What's going on, Moto? No! We can't connect. Well, It counts as a win. It also counts as moto being moto, but oh dear. Well, unless it lets us back in now, I think that yeah. Well, we're going to call it a win. We would have won. The odds of us not winning from that position were, I don't know, 5% or less. We have 11. We have 11 fogs, and after sideboarding, 5 rafts. So that's a total of 11, 5. That's a total of 16 things that we could have hit off of our draw 7, plus Fevered Visions, plus our Kefnet draw. And we even had more redraws in there with cyclers and stuff. So it would be incredibly unlucky if we didn't hit a fog. And at that point, there's just basically no way that we could lose, because our opponent was dead to Fevered Visions the very next turn. So we didn't even have to find an approach or anything. And so the odds of us not winning there were about, very close to 0. There's always a chance. Crazy things can happen, but just by the numbers, with so many hits off of our memory from the graveyard, it's very unlikely that it wouldn't have worked out. So we're going to count it as a win, an unfortunate, frustrating win, but a win nonetheless, because very confident that's what would have happened. Thanks for watching the video. If you haven't already, take a minute and click that subscribe button. It's a great way to support the channel for free, and you'll find the next video in the playlist right here.